We're on Lake LBJ in Central Texas, where Wade and his good buddy Jim have their sights set on sight fishing during the springtime spawn.
Man, I love fishing with my buddy Wade, man. I was so excited when he texted me and says, hey, I got an open seat tomorrow. It's always fun, man. We've done a lot of shows together. I appreciate, I work for a charity now, Cast for Kids, and I appreciate the fact that he still invites me every once in a while. We get to have a good time together, and it's a good deal.
Before we catch back up with Wade and Jim on the water, let's take a moment to learn about Cast for Kids. For over 30 years, Cast has hosted fishing events for families of children with special needs and given them a chance to get outdoors, forget their struggles for a few hours, and feel celebrated for accomplishing tasks that those of us without disabilities tend to take for granted. If you'd like to get involved and make a difference in these children's lives, head on over to castforkids.org to volunteer for a local event. As we saw earlier on Lake Athens, finding bass on LBJ requires lots of moving around to find those spots where the fish might be bedding down. So far, Wade is leading the day with 3 fish for all of about 1.5 pounds. And it looks like Jim is about to claim a spot on the scoreboard.
Got it. There he is.
Nice.
I told you I saw one, dude.
You did.
You said it was a tire. I said, no, that's a bed.
I said the tire was there.
Okay, okay.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. It's a dandy.
Yeah, man, I just begged for a one to thump it, and I felt a thump.
Yeah.
All right.
You said he swam off there.
Salted with it.
Nice.
Got him good. Man, that's a nice one. Looks like me.
I like the round ones down there.
Yeah.
Their belly has grown over time.
Yep.
He said he rolled on it.
Yeah, he definitely reacted the first time I threw in there, and he real aggressive, and then he didn't get it. And I'm like, what?
It's funny how some swim to the dam and some just, you're in the wrong spot.
Yeah, very frustrating at times. Back in the day when you wanted to sight fish, you pretty much had to commit your whole day to it. You couldn't, it's no different than live scope, I mean, these guys, they commit to it, that's what you got to do.
I think, dropping a jig in the grass, all of those kind of deals, when you're committed to it. When you go back and forth, it can sure cause you troubles. Not saying you're not going to catch them, because that's all I care about, but it definitely changes it up. I just think it's so cool to watch them react, whether I'm watching them on live scope, whether I'm watching them with my eyes, just seeing how they react and engage with the environment. You learn so much about how fish live and react and how they want to bite.
I mean, I've heard stories of guys like sight fishing in deeper water with a live scope, watching the fish. I mean, you can literally see them, go down on the bait. And that's nuts, man. That's just so.
Well, it's no different than us trying to sight fish right now in 1 foot of water.
Yeah.
They've trained themselves to look at it and know what they're looking for.
Yeah.
And I was doing it the other day in 5 foot, looking at a stump, and I could see a pair of them.
Really?
And because I know what they do, I knew they were trying to sit down there and spawn.
Right.
Yeah,
that's cool.
On the topic of how cool it is just to simply watch the fish react to your bait, let's hear what advice Jim has for us when it comes to knowing what to throw to entice fish to bite during the spawn.
Throwing something weightless, a Cinco style bait, a fluke style bait, a wacky style bait is always really good in the spring. I mean, I'm thinking this lake, I'm thinking Lake Amistad, even at Falcon. I mean, if you can throw one out there in the middle of that drain and let it float down real slow, it's just slow and sexy, man. It just falls real slow and does that, and they're not really in the eating mode, but when they see something that easy, they're gonna come up and chew on it. I mean, it's just the mood they're in right now, and it was pretty evident by watching the fish and how they reacted and everything else.
God bless fish like that. It's fixing to bite it. It's just hard to get.
That plant is
it's just in the worst spot.
Yeah, that plant is just, oh, here you go.
He bit it.
Yeah, he's back under, oh, did he? I didn't see that. He's back under there again.
Yeah, he bit it.
Yes.
Got him that
Yes.
time. Oh, he jumped off. Oh, dadgummit. Still fun.
That was a good shot, man.
Golly.
That was cool.
It's just so fun when you can watch them do that. Even when you don't land them, it's fun.
It is. It's fun watching how he reacted every time,
He's been a nice participant today.
Yep.
Thanks for playing along with us, Mr. Fish. When we come back, we'll continue learning about what works while sight fishing during the spawn. We're catching back up with Wade and Jim as they intently watch 3 bass sizing up Jim's soft plastic craw. Let's see if one of them takes the bait.
There's
Okay,
three.
yeah.
There's three of them. The other one's fixing to eat it.
Yeah,
The smallest one's about to eat
of course.
Nah, she swam over it. Oh, they're both trying to eat it.
Yeah.
They both tried to eat it at the same
Yeah.
time.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah.
That's too fun. I like commentating on your
It helps. You're really good at that, Milton. You know, it always makes it funner and easier to catch a fish when you got competition for your bait, you know?
They were both
Yeah.
trying to, one was coming from the right, one was coming,
Yeah.
he's bigger than I thought he was.
Yeah.
Good deal.
This was a smaller one, so that's cool, yeah. And what bait did I just catch it on? This is all Wade's stuff. I don't bring anything in my own. Cool looking bait though.
Yeah.
But that's why the first time he had it, this is all he had in his mouth, and he swam like
Yeah.
12 feet with it. You know,
Yeah.
he just had that claw in his mouth.
That's the thing about
There you
sight
go.
fishing. You learn a lot about fish
Yeah.
watching it. That was cool.
Man, it's been so long since I've done this. It's really a thrill.
Throughout their time on the water, Wade and Jim have been using a variety of soft plastics to catch these spawning bass. While Jim has mixed up his presentation, Wade is stuck with his trusty tail shaker worm from Secret Lures for the majority of his bites today. This 5.5-inch worm is new for 2024, and its super soft, unsalted plastic and ribbed body from tip to tail make it come alive underwater and quiver with the slightest movement. Its flat bottom makes rigging simple, and it's ideal for drop shots, as well as pairing with the entire line of tail shaker jig heads. Let's get back to the water.
Right out in the middle there?
Yeah. Oh, look at that big old
Tell
yellow.
me it's another rock bass. Oh, it's even better. It's a big bluegill.
That's
You are
pure
the
talent.
king.
Pure talent to hook it in the mouth.
You are the king, man.
Look at that. Perfectly hooked in the mouth.
I'll teach you later how to shake those fish off, okay? I'll teach you later.
Perfectly hooked inside the mouth. I think that is pure skill.
As we begin to wrap up our day, let's hear from Jim about how the day has played out and what worked best for them on the water.
We literally threw spinning rods all day long. You know, I threw a little fluke style bait, Wade threw a little wacky style bait, but it's the deal this time of year. I mean, they're not super aggressive, so you want a light bait, maybe just a nail weight in it and pitch it around. Caught several fish underneath boathouses today, several fish in little corners of concrete and stuff. But you can't do that without a weightless bait, you know. We didn't get lucky today and catch a really big one. I honestly thought, you know, every time we'd get into place and want to be fishing here, the other guy would just throw it in the middle of the drain and just feed line and let it go down, hoping a big fish swimming in, swimming out would eat it. You know, we didn't get lucky, but it's happened. It's worked many, many times in the past, you know. But that's why you want to do it. They're not really chasing. We're in that full spawn mode, like we're in March now, so it's full spawn mode.
Now, the day may be coming to a close, but that doesn't mean Mother Nature didn't have one last round of excitement for Wade and Jim up her sleeve.
Oh, you coots are screwed. Oh! Dang.
We got him pinned. He just hammered himself. He ran into the wall of this boathouse. He thought, I don't know what he was thinking, do
He
you?
thought he was going to fly through
What
it,
was
I
he
guess.
thinking?
I don't know. Oh,
He just
man.
slammed the
You
wall
can
of that
see
boathouse.
You can see
He's still
the,
kind of loopy.
you can see the
Look,
black
Gentry, he's
mark
all
where he hit.
good.
You can see the
He
black
just
mark.
slammed in the wall. You can see where he hit the wall. Look at the wet spot on the wall. It's like a foot up above that little brick.
Oh, that's sad.
He's like, oh, I gotta go under. Okay. Yeah, look at the wet spot. You can see.
No. That's sad.
So here is why when somebody my age, 60-something years old, anybody calls me an old coot, I take offense to that because they are the dumbest birds alive, the stupidest birds alive. If that doesn't prove it, nothing will. So old people, somebody calls you an old coot, take offense because
I
it's
felt
bad.
bad for the bird.
I did. We both went, oh, you poor thing, you know?
That's like, man.
We both did that.
It's like, that's not my fault.
Don't worry, Jim. We don't think you're an old coot, just a great old friend. Thanks for joining us on the water today and sharing your insight for how to have a fun and successful day of sight fishing during the spawn.